of the most difficult squads, one of the most difficult starting 11s you've had to put together?
No, in the end, no. I think the preparation and the planning for the camp, where we weren't sure on the impact of injuries pre-season, how far teams would go in Europe, and then most difficult of all, the virus situation. That has been complicated for sure. But since we've been in camp and got on the training pitch, then the players have adjusted and adapted. We've got a lot of senior players who are used to training the way we train and playing the way that we play. Are a great influence and welcoming to the younger ones coming in, the less experienced guys. But also the young players coming in have no fear. They adapt very quickly. They add to the level of training and the competition. And we've really enjoyed the week. It's been great to be back on the football pitch, that's for sure.
How are the fitness levels within the squad generally? Is everyone in the squad going to be able to play 2 games in 4 days?
Well, I don't think everybody is at that point, but we've got enough who can. So I actually been really pleased with the level that the players are at. I think they're all very conscientious anyway. I think the days are gone where players came back for pre-season and they weren't in tip-top condition. And we've got guys who only finished playing a couple of weeks ago, who had a short break, but are very much up to match fitness. So that isn't as big a concern for me as I thought it might have been.
There's been a lot of excitement, obviously, about the first call-ups for Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood. Are we going to see them play?
Well, I don't think you'd expect me to genuinely answer that, Rob. But what I would say is that everything we've seen on the training pitch would have no hesitation in starting any of the players that have been with us. And that's why they're picked in the first place. But also then you're never quite certain how they'll adapt and how they'll fit in with the group. But they're 2 of another group of very exciting young players that are coming through the English system.
What have you made of Jack Grealish and his first involvement with the squad?
Yeah, Jack had to miss a couple of days training early on with a problem he had from his club game at the weekend. Not too serious, so he hasn't had quite as much time on the training pitch, but he's fitted in fine.
Clearly, it's been a difficult situation, Gareth, with Harry Maguire and the fact that you had to select him and then drop him. Have you spoken to him since he was dropped from the squad, and does he come straight back into your thinking for the next international break in a month's time? Yes
and yes. We've been in touch right the way through the last 2.5 weeks, and it's been clearly a really difficult period for him, and I think the last few days have been very important for him to be able to relax, get away from all the attention, get a rest, mentally get a rest, because of course he had a short break anyway, but that was then the events that happened in Greece had really dominated that. So I think he needed that switch off, and he'll be able to go back to his club, and absolutely we would be looking to involve him in October.
Good man, thank you. Can I ask a couple of questions to Harry, if that's okay? Thanks for waiting, Harry, patiently.
No
Mate, we heard yesterday that the squad had a discussion pretty early on in the camp about the Black Lives Matter campaign and that you will be taking a knee before this game. Can you tell me a bit more about that, how those discussions went, who led them, and how strongly people felt about it?
Yeah, it was more of a kind of a general discussion, really. I think it was important as a team, as a nation, as the staff, everyone involved wanted to be on the same page, and we thought it was important to continue taking the knee before the game. So it wasn't a massive meeting or anything like that. It was just a pretty quick discussion, to be honest, that everyone was on board and everyone wanted to do it. And we all think it's important to continue that message for obviously country whenever we play and club games as well.
A quick one on the game, Harry. You were there in Euro 2016 in Nice. Bad memories for all of us, but you in particular, I should guess. Is that one of your worst experiences in an England shirt?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the toughest nights I've had in an England shirt, but I think it's a game that I've definitely learnt from. Obviously, that was my first international tournament at the time. I was still inexperienced at that level and even club level, really. So yeah, all throughout the journey in my career, I've always tried to take nights like that as a chance to learn and improve from. And I think I've definitely done that as a person. I think the team's definitely improved over the last 4 years. So yeah, of course, them games always are in your mind, and you always think about what you could have done better. But yeah, we've moved on well. We're in a great place as a squad, exciting team, and I think we're all just really excited to be back playing for England. To be honest, it's been a long time. It's been great training here with the boys. So yeah, everyone's looking forward to it.
Good man. Thank you. I'll hand on to everybody else. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Rob.
Cheers, Rob.
Next, we'll turn to Sam Matterface from ITV.
Hello, Gareth. Hello, Harry. I think, Gareth, you've selected 82 different players since taking over as the England manager. Does that sort of show an increasing breadth of talent that you've got to pick from, or does it highlight the perils of international management?
Well, firstly, Sam, I wish you good luck for your debut. No, I think we had a situation where there was a lot of players coming towards the end of their international careers, perhaps, and inevitably over a 4-year period, you are going to have players that are coming to the latter stages of their career. Inevitably, whenever we pick a squad, we have a lot of players that are either missing through injury or form. So injuries in particular in some of those squads have forced us into lots of changes. But then in the last 2-3 years, I think we've just seen lots of exciting young players come through who we believe we should be exposing to training with the team, working with the staff, and we haven't hesitated to put them in. And sometimes the right thing has then been to put them perhaps back with the under-21s for a spell, and then maybe bring them back in. Others have just stayed in and kept their place with the squad. So I think it's a high turnover. I was surprised when I read the figures myself, but I think at times we've just wanted to bring people in, see if they can adapt. Sometimes they've been able to, and that competition and that freshness and energy that new people coming in brings has meant that our level of performances have stayed consistently high. And I think if we had been a lot of numbers and not consistent performances, then that would have been a different matter. But the pleasing thing is we've kept experimenting, we've kept blooding young players, but we've kept winning, and you have to do that.
Thanks, Sam. Currently no virtual hands raised, so please do so. Yep, James Ollie from ESPN.
Hi, Gareth. You've talked a lot about the sort of psychological work you've done with the team since you took charge. I just wondered, with that Iceland game, have you used that as a sort of specific reference point? Have you made the squad sort of watch it again, or how much has that been a factor in the work that you've done on the psychological side since you took over?
I think a couple of years ago we looked at 2 or 3 matches that we had played and different aspects of those games. And for us as a coaching team, the biggest thing from the Iceland game was the patience once you go behind in a game. Very often you prepare the team for a 0-0, and we don't like to talk about what happens if you go behind. But in any game of football, no matter how well you're playing, the opposition can score a goal out of nothing. And so then the decision-making under pressure, the patience to wait for good opportunities, to create better opportunities, I think that's something we've really added as a team over the last few years. We've talked about it a lot. The players know that if we're ever behind, then we keep doing things the way that we do them. We keep playing the way we're playing. We stay calm. And we make the right decisions on when to take shots and when not to take shots, and getting in those better areas. So I think that's part of the development that's happened, and definitely we used that experience as one of a few to learn from.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. We'll move to actually Jack Pitbrook from The Athletic.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Jack.
The last game that you played in Kosovo was such a long time ago now. Do you feel like how much can that factor into your selection of players for the Iceland-Denmark games, or is everyone basically starting again from scratch?
Well, I don't think we start from scratch, because I still think that experience is important, and you've got to balance leadership and international experience, which is always important, with youth and energy. I mean, the reality is our experienced players are still youthful and energetic. So, but it's helpful to have those experienced guys in there when young players are coming in, or if we're giving people a debut. So there is a balance. We've always got to bear in mind what people have done for us in the past. But of course, you've also got to look at how people are on the training pitch and whether they're ready for the game and up to speed.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jack. We'll go back to Rob Dorset, Sky Sports News.
Harry, can I ask you another one if that's okay? Yeah, I mean, clearly you're one of the most accomplished goal scorers that England's had for a very, very long time. But you've had a chance to train with Mason Greenwood this week, who a lot of people feel is in your shadow maybe, but certainly a very adept goal scorer. What have you made of him? And can you try and explain to us that what that goal scoring ability is and where it comes from and how you work on it?
Yeah, no, Mason's been great since the first training session we had. You can tell he's full of confidence as a player, not afraid to shoot, not afraid to take players on, and that's exactly what we want. And yeah, he's obviously done great for his club in the period after the lockdown, especially. And yeah, it's great to have him in the team. I guess as a goal scorer, people use the phrase as a natural goal scorer. I guess it's just one of them things you kind of work on a lot, being in the right place at the right time. Some of it is just instinct, balls dropping to you in the box and being able to finish it. But I guess looking at him in the short time that we spent together, it's just all different types of finishes, whether it's left foot, right foot, inside of the foot, powerful shots. I think that shows a real complete goal scorer when you can score in any situation. So obviously it's only been a short period of time, but he definitely looks like a real top finisher, and we look forward to having him in the squad to come, because he's still obviously very young.
Good man. One quick one to Gareth as well, if that's okay, Andy. Gareth, you haven't got a recognised left back in the squad. We talked about that when you announced the squad, and I know you have options that could play there. But can you talk to me about your thinking of how the formation might work, and whether you've considered the possibility of using three centre backs again, like you did in the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're always looking at different options, and we've tried a few different things in training this week. And I think we'd want to continue to do that over the autumn, because we've got to have some flexibility. If you're rigid in the system that you have, and then you lose players that are fundamental, and maybe in some positions you've got a lot of options and in others not so many, then you've got to have the ability to switch. So we'll always keep assessing that. The most important thing is that players are comfortable in their role, they understand their role. Again, I talk again about the balance of youth and experience, and we've got to have that resilience as a team. It's lovely to talk about the young players because they're so excited, but we've got players that now it's winning is what it's about for them with England. They've knocked on the door a couple of times. They're at a stage of their career where just to be here, just to be getting caps isn't enough. They want to add to the medals. They want to add to the successes and victories. And, you need a core of the team that are at that point in their career where that's the focus, and collectively they drive the team and they drive their habits and behaviours every day.
Okay, thanks everybody. We'll end it there. Quick reminder that the full recording of this media conference will be available on request, but thanks again for joining us today.